In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 12 new additions with you guys that I have not shown / introduced on the channel up to this point. And that means that there are also some epic updates to share with you all, as well as some not so great news. But you're gonna have to make sure to stick around to the very end to see all 12 new additions, and there are some pretty epic ones. So let me know in the comments down below which you'd like to add to your reptile room. And while I'm talking here, I do want to thank Extra for sponsoring today's video. You'll hear more about them later in the video. Now, I think it is important to note that I do not advocate for adding a whole bunch of animals all at once. It is very important to understand that Bree and I researched these creatures. We are very well versed in keeping care of these animals. And I think most importantly, although I'm presenting all these to you in one video, we've actually got all these animals over the course of about 3 months. So it's all one new additions video, but we have gotten them over a much longer period than what this video portrays. So I want to thank you guys all for sticking around for my little disclaimer. And with that being said, I think we can hop right into the first updates and check out Reggie with his brand new roommates. Everybody, I'd like to introduce you to Reggie, our Centralian or Central Pebble Dragon, or what I like to call him, the closest thing to a bearded dragon that we will probably ever own. The reason why they're called the earless dragons is because A, they don't have ears, and B, that's literally what their scientific name translates to. Tympanocrypsis, which means hidden ear, and Centralis. Reggie is truly a legend and is certainly one of the coolest reptiles that we own. I'll tell you a little bit more about how we got him in a few moments here, but I did want to share a little bit of information about him. These guys are fairly common in their native range. They inhabit desert-like habitats across quite a large range, ranging from the Northern Territory, South Australia, and all the way into Western Australia. And unlike the beardies, these guys are pretty much strictly insectivorous. And boy, does Reggie sure love his insects. The reason why these guys are pebble dragons is because they've adapted the ability to blend in very well with the rocks that are found in their native range. Viewed from above, these guys basically look like a pebble, and he is tiny. So it makes a lot of sense why they get their common name, the Centralian Pebble Dragon. I'll throw up a picture right now for you guys to see. This might not be the exact same species, but I think you get the idea. They are very similar to the pebbles that exist amongst their native range. Now, I think it is important to say why we got him or how we got him, and that is only thanks to our good friend Ashley. We actually ended up picking up 4 new Lucasium Damium, which you guys can see in here. And Reggie was actually their roommate for the entire time that Ashley had them. So when we bought these 4, Ashley just ended up giving us Mr. Reginald here. And boy, are we excited to have him join the room. Now, I think it is definitely worth noting that typically I'm not an advocate for cohabbing anything. However, it wasn't really our choice, and truthfully, we didn't even know we were going to get him. He was just in the box with the other Lucasium that we ended up purchasing. So we decided to keep them all together. They are currently in this Exoterra set up as kind of a naturalistic desert-like scape, and we are currently making a larger enclosure for them that is about halfway done, so they will be upgraded into a larger tank in the very near future. Part of the 12 new reptiles that we added into the room was, like I said, these Lucasium Damium. We're keeping an eye on both Reggie and the Damium to make sure that they're both doing well. We do feed them quite heavily, and they are very much fat and happy. Of course, if things were to go sideways, we are keeping a very close eye, and we will definitely move him if we have to. Now that we've covered both the Lucasium Damium as well as our homie Reggie, get it, buddy. Nice. I think we've given Reggie quite the warm welcome to the reptile room, so please leave your thoughts about his name in the comments down below, and we can now move on to our good friend Borb. And here we have Borb. Borb is a jumping spider that Bree has named. We have no idea what species he is. So if you know what species he is, let me know in the comments down below. We asked several different people trying to return him. I'll get to that in a second. Nobody had a straight answer as to what species Borb really is, so leave me your best guess. Back to the whole returning him thing. We found Borb climbing out of one of the buckets that we had behind our booth at the last Reptile Expo, and Bree made her best effort to return him to somebody. Unfortunately, every single vendor we asked basically said, nope, like all mine are accounted for. I have no idea what you're talking about. Alas, here we are with a pet arachnid. Besides the ones that exist in the reptile room, but we aren't really keeping them as pets. They're more like freeloaders that pay no rent. I know they typically don't live too long, but they are a blast to watch. We did end up picking up a tarantula crib for him, and I gotta say, I love this thing. The only thing that kind of sucks, especially with a spider like this, is that it's a top opening. Borb is typically wandering around on the top panel that is the only removable part of this entire acrylic box. That's enough of Borb for now. I'll definitely show him off in the reptile room tour as well. But for the next animal, I have to actually hop in my truck and go pick her up. So we're gonna grab our keys, grab my spectacles, toss on a jacket, squeeze into some shoes, and head out the door to go pick up the next edition. One thing I never leave the house without is my extra wallet. Well, unless I forget it at home. Forgot my wallet. Thankfully, I remembered before I got too far. Everyone needs a wallet before they leave the house. And this holiday season is the perfect time to pick one up for yourself and some of your loved ones. Extra makes a whole host of different products, but I'm here to show you all their incredibly designed, super slim, sustainable, and trackable wallets. I've been using the Extra Parliament for about 2 years now, and I'm so happy I decided to ditch the old, bulky wallet designs of the past and move to these extremely thin wallets, which still hold up to 12 cards and cash, by the way. All of their wallets are RFID protected, which keep you and your cards safe from wireless theft. And this handy GPS card pairs seamlessly with your phone, so you know exactly where your wallet is at all times. Extra wallets make the perfect gift around this holiday season, so shop for yourself and your loved ones by clicking the link below and using my coupon code MikeTytula to save up to 55% off Extra wallets. I'm so incredibly stoked to bring this new AirTag card holder with me through the jungles of Colombia on my next expedition. Again, use my coupon code MikeTytula at the link on the screen and in the description to get up to 55% off Extra wallets. I want to thank Extra for sponsoring today's video, and look at that, I'm back from my buddy's house, so let's find out what I got. Now before I share exactly what I got in the bag, I have to bring you guys some bad news. Mr. Hugo is my original Uromastyx Jeri, or the Saharan Uromastyx, and he is looking vibrant as all heck right now. Unfortunately, Olga ended up passing away. Now, it's really not an easy story to tell or decipher, but you guys know that I got these guys back in 2019. They were my first Uromastyx I ever purchased. Just one day, Bree and I noticed that Olga was kind of slowing down a little bit, which actually coincided perfectly with the temperature starting to drop in the room and outside. I wasn't really concerned because I saw Hugo all the time, and I figured, you know, they're pretty similar health as far as I can tell. This guy is nice, fat, and happy, as you can tell. Olga was the same way. She always ate, she always did everything, but with the cooling of the temperature, we just figured, oh, she's slowing down for the winter, that's good. Like, we want to breed you guys next year. So it looked like we were reaching our end goal of these guys cooling and breeding them in the spring. Now, that was all at the start of November. Mid-November, we actually had a party with several of my friends coming over, several reptile lovers, and some of you are probably watching this video. I went in the tank and I could tell something was off. I looked around a little bit. It had been a while since I'd seen Olga, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna investigate this. Even though my friends are over currently, I'm gonna check into it and make sure that everybody's still cool and still kicking. And unfortunately, I turned up Olga, who had passed away. Truly heart-wrenching news. I really did not expect that, and especially with all my friends there, it was not a fun moment. However, they were all very understanding, and they all kind of helped let me share my feelings while also being very respectful of, you know, Hugo and myself, mourning the loss of one of our beloved pets. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to kind of share those emotions with. One of my good friends, Darren, who is an avid Uromastyx breeder himself and keeper, was actually here, and I'm very thankful he was here. I'll go into why I was very thankful he was here later on when you guys see what I take out of the bag in just a few moments here. Unfortunately, I had to tell my parents because they were quite attached to her. It was just a very, very sad time. Now that was really the only bad part of news that I had to share with you all. It is very unfortunate that Olga has passed. I know you guys loved her dearly, and I did as well. One of the OG pets from the reptile room back in Calgary, so it is definitely a tough loss, and I don't want to get emotional here, but that's the only negative news of this video. I really want to try and keep it positive. And speaking of keeping it positive, I want to share with you all why I'm so happy that Darren was here whilst that happened. It was courtesy of Mr. Darren Hamill. Darren had this girl in quarantine for 4 months. She passed everything and then decided to gift her to me. So everybody, I want you to meet Greta. Greta, you are large. You're very large.
She had a full meal.
Yeah. Perfect. I really hope her and Hugo get along. She's a yellow, not an orange, so that's kind of interesting. I've never had a female yellow. And, yeah, I'm very happy to have her here. Hopefully we can produce some babies eventually of these guys. I'm just looking forward to getting her acquainted and warmed up, and hopefully she settles in well. I already gave you guys a little bit of background on Greta here. She is unfortunately a wild-caught female, so I have no idea how old she is. Based on her size, she's at least 4 to 5 years old because she is a mature adult. And I did want to tell you a little bit about how she got her name. As I mentioned to you before, I had to tell my parents about Olga because they're already very attached to her. And on the phone when I told them about Olga, I ended up also telling them that Darren would be giving this female to me. They suggested the name Greta, and honestly, Hugo and Greta just goes together. It has the same kind of vibe as Olga. I love that name and wanted to stick with it, so I want to introduce to you all Greta, the female yellow Uromastyx geri. I can't wait to see how she adapts to the new environment, and it seems like her and Hugo are already getting along, although she is hiding a lot, so I'm hoping that that's just shyness and not used to the new environment. Over time, I expect to see her a lot more. And now with the introduction of Greta, I want to keep the vibes positive from here on out. But now like Adam does in every single one of his videos, I'm going to ruin this one with some amphibians. First couple amphibians that we're going to be showing you guys are actually right here. Let's check them out. This is the tank that Bree just finished making for the rain boys, otherwise known as the Madagascan rain frogs or Scaphiophrine marmorata. I will be honest with you guys, these are primarily Bree's frogs, as she was the one who accepted them for free. We got gifted them by a friend, and we had them housed in a much smaller enclosure up until just recently. And the reason why it's so tall is because when we were in Madagascar, we actually found them primarily like 2 to 3 feet off the ground. Now that could just be kind of a herper's bias because that's where we're looking, but we did find enough of them to make a convincing argument that they should have some height to their enclosures and that they do climb quite significant distances straight up a tree. So we're literally taking exactly what we found in Madagascar and trying to transplant it into our reptile room with this Exoterra 12 by 24 enclosure. But I am very excited to have them, and they are very cool to have in the reptile room, really taking something from Madagascar and making it directly applicable to the reptile room. This is one of the examples of the amphibians that we've had for quite some time. We've had these from the very beginning of September, so coming on about 2.5 months now, and they are doing fantastic. They're growing well, they're eating well, and they're just doing great. can't wait to see them exhibit slightly more naturalistic tendencies in their brand new enclosure. These guys also don't have names. Not that we'll be able to tell them apart very easily, but if you guys have 2 names you want to suggest for them, please leave them in the comment section down below. Maybe we'll pick one of yours to name these goofy looking frogs. And now the last 3 newest additions we brought into the reptile room are found in these bins here, and they're truly some of the jewels of Colombia. And this girl right here, I'm hoping at least it's a girl, is the most bold of the whole bunch. I want to welcome Blue Histrionica into the reptile room. Now these guys have been one of my favorite frogs for as long as I can remember. Ever since the first day I saw them in like 2015, I was like, I have to have those frogs someday. At the time, I couldn't even fathom spending that much on a frog. 8 years later, here I am with 3 of them. The Blue Histrionica, or the Blue Harlequin Poison Frog, I believe might be their common name. I'm so excited to have those frogs here in the reptile room, and very soon here you'll see a build on the channel showing the tank that I'm currently building that goes right here and will fill out the entire rest of this rack. You guys are used to seeing the other Histrionica build. Well, this one is going to be a similar concept, slightly different execution, and an incredible video nonetheless. So I want to thank you guys all very much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to thank Exters for sponsoring this video. And I know it wasn't all good news, but part of life is moving on and looking towards the future. I'm hoping Greta will be that future for many, many years to come. I'm very happy I'm open enough and also comfortable enough sharing that information with you guys. You're basically my second family. You're the reptile family. So like I said, I want to thank you guys all very much for watching the video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, leave them in the comment section. Of course, remember to tell me what reptile or amphibian you liked most in this video, and you can leave it in the comment section down below. What would you like to join your reptile room if you had to pick one of the selections that I brought in this video? If you are looking forward to another reptile room tour, that will be coming here pretty soon. I'm going to be filming that this coming week, and it should be out next weekend. So if you are excited for that, make sure you click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.